Hi everyone, welcome to the Wellness Collective today. My name is Beth. I'm really excited to bring you this practice here that's geared more towards the upper body, stretching out the shoulders and the shoulder blades and all those pieces and parts of the upper body that we need so much. So we're going to jump right in and get started. So if you would just join me in child's pose just to get integrated in breathing. So come onto your knees here. Take the knees out nice and wide. Sit the hips back down towards the heels. And then extend the hands out towards the top of the mat. Forehead comes onto the mat. Just begin to breathe and release. So we want to breathe here in through the nose, hollowing out the back of the throat, and then exhaling out through the nose or either the mouth. Just release out any tension that you might be experiencing right now, maybe rolling across the forehead from temple to temple. And just go ahead and take a deep breath in, extend the hands out longer. And on your exhale, go ahead and walk your hands over to the right. Drop the head down. Keep the left hip sort of rooted down as you stretch all the way from the hip up through the tricep muscles, especially focusing in on those intercostal muscles or the muscles between the rib cage. Okay, then let's inhale and come back to center. And exhale, take the hands over to the left. Let that that right hip melt down, the right shoulder melt down. Breathing here. Again, extending the spine and stretching through those muscles between each rib. Nice. So go ahead and come back to center. Again, just taking a few more deep breaths, letting the hips melt down towards the heels just a little bit more. And then maybe come into some active arms here. So maybe you take the elbows up off of the mat, come up onto the fingertips, sort of making a tent out of your hands. Then I want you to focus in on that right shoulder and rotate it outwards, so it's going sort of clockwise, and then your left shoulder is going counterclockwise as you broaden through the upper back, creating space between the shoulder blades, letting the chest melt down just a little bit more. Release those hands down. Take a nice big deep breath in. Go ahead and start to move up into your tabletop position. Wrists stacked underneath the shoulders, knees are underneath the hips. Just begin to move through your cat-cows here. So inhale, lifting the chest, lifting the tailbone, dropping the belly. Exhale, protract the shoulders, so push them out away. And inhale, lifting back up. Exhale, rounding in. And then just moving in the pace of your own breath here. Take any movement that your body might need. So if you need some hip circles, just whatever it is that you need, go ahead and take that, just finding a little bit of a loosening up in the entire body, especially if you've been stiff. I've been really stiff from being at home so much. So I am sure that many of you are so. Good. So whenever you're ready, we're going to come back into that tabletop, nice strong tabletop here. We want to feel the belly engaged. So we're going to take a couple deep breaths as we do that. So the crown of the head is going forward towards the front of your room. The index finger is pointed towards the front of the room as well. The other three fingers are kind of flared out to the side. So we find a really nice strong tabletop position, pressing the fingertips into the mat, taking the weight away from the heel of the hand so we protect the wrists. All right, so we're going to take a deep breath in here. And then on an exhale, we're going to sigh out really forcefully, just feeling the belly engaged. So here we go. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale it out. Good. Inhale. We're going to reach the right arm up and open. And on our exhale, we're going to thread the needle, drop the right shoulder down. Take the weight to the hips, not into the head or the neck. Let the head just rest softly. The left hand can be down towards your face, that's fine. Or you can reach it up towards the top of the mat or to the low back or around. Whatever feels good to you in this moment, just kind of be there. Take the time and the energy to soften through the face and to really just melt into this. Go ahead and take the hand down. Let's go ahead and press through that left hand, reach up and open, and then exhale, drop that right hand down. Then let's inhale, left arm is going to open up. And then exhale, let's thread the needle opposite side. Again, pressing the weight into the hips. The right hand can stay down by the face or reach up towards the top of the mat or down and around. Maybe even taking a little bind. Good, right hand comes down beside the face, press up, reach open with the left hand, and then exhale, drop the hand down. Take just a couple of more cat-cows, just getting the spine nice and warm. So then from here, we're just going to go ahead and make our way into our first little puppy dog position. So I just want you to be mindful of where you are in this. Don't try to press down too far. Know that sharp pain is not what we're going for, but nice stretchy pain is, well, not pain, more of like a tension or finding the edge is what we're looking for. So go ahead and take the hands out long. Try to keep the hips stacked over the knees. Let the chest begin to melt down towards the mat. Maybe you bring the forehead onto the mat or the chin, your choice. Good, then go ahead and walk the hands back up. That's a pretty deep stretch to start out with, so we're going to actually come back to that a little bit later. And kind of add on to that a little bit. So coming back into the tabletop, go ahead and take a deep breath in, tuck the toes under, and on your exhale, let's move into our first downward facing dog. So in your downward facing dog, the hand position is the same. Index fingers are forward. Flare those other three fingers out. And then go ahead and press the fingertips into the mat, taking the weight away from the heel of the hand again. Pedal your feet out. And then go ahead and, just like we did in child's pose, rotate that right shoulder clockwise and left shoulder counterclockwise, finding an external rotation of the shoulders. creating space between the shoulder blades and through the upper back. Good. On your next inhale, we're just going to get the body warmed up, and we're going to move through that sun salutation A. So go ahead and inhale, look forward, step or float to the top of the mat, come into that halfway lift. Good. Then exhale, fold all the way down, take your feet out nice and wide. Go ahead, you can bend the knees if you need to, but just let the crown of the head melt down towards the floor. Grab your opposite elbows. Just sway maybe from side to side. Allowing yourself to just release here, letting any stress that you might have go. Good. Then if you like, you can interlace the fingers behind your back. And if you have a hard time interlacing the fingers behind your back, have a towel or some type of strap, and you can always hold on to that. And then maybe squeeze the shoulder blades together and reach the arms up and over. You can do this, of course, with bent knees or with straight legs, either way. Release the hands down, heel toe the feet in. Good. Take your feet about hips width distance apart, or maybe a little bit closer. Bend your knees. Inhale, rise all the way up to standing. Extended mountain, squeezing the glutes, pulling the belly in, grounding down through the feet, down through the floor. And then let's exhale, fold forward all the way down. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold and release. Plant your hands down, either step or jump it back. Find your high plank. And then you can drop your knees here and take a chaturanga, or you can stay lifted onto the knees. Exhale, pull the elbows in, chaturanga. Inhale, maybe move up into a cobra. You come into high cobra, or maybe you stay low, just drawing the shoulders down away from the ears. Take a couple breaths here, neutralizing the cervical spine or the neck. Good, then exhale, go ahead and make your way into your down dog, using your belly to get you there. Take a deep breath in, and then exhale, sigh it out. Inhale, look forward, bend the knees, step or float to the top of the mat. Find that halfway lift. Exhale, fold it down. Inhale, rise, lifting up, maybe taking a little bit more of a spinal extension here, maybe a little bit more of a back bend. And then exhale, let's go ahead and swan dive all the way down. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold hands, plant, step or float back, high plank to chaturanga. Inhale, high cobra, or maybe up dog. And then exhale, down dog. Good, one more time. Inhale, top of the mat, halfway lift. Exhale, fold it down. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, full plant your hands, step or jump it back. Find your flow. Always meeting in down dog. It's a nice safe place to go. If you ever get lost in any class, you pretty much always end up in down dog at some point, right? So as we inhale, the right leg is going to reach up and back. Exhale, draw that foot between the hands. Take as much time as you need to get it up there. And then let's go ahead and drop the left knee down. Begin to activate the left glutes. As you rise up, knee is stacked over the ankle. Belly is pulled in. Maybe you start by just taking the hands down to the thigh and breathing there. You can lift the arms up whenever you're ready. Maybe you continue to lift that left arm up, reach the right hand back, sort of grazing the back left hamstrings, just opening the chest, opening the heart up. Good. On your exhale, windmill the arms down. Take that left hand and plant it, and then reach up and open towards the right. Taking a simple twist. Good. Exhale, release it down. Back toes tuck under, step back to your high plank. Flow it out or press into down dog. So chaturanga. Inhale, upward face. Exhale, downward face. Good. Inhale, left leg is going to reach up and back. Exhale, the foot comes between the hands. Take your time again to get it there. And then just go ahead and when you're ready, drop that right knee down. Get the left knee stacked over the ankle. Rise up, maybe hands to the thigh first. Activating the right glutes and the belly. Protecting that low spine. Lift the arms up if you'd like. And then of course you can keep that right arm lifted and extended and drop the left arm back. And breathe. Opening the heart towards the ceiling. Such a great spinal extension. So good for us. And then exhale, let's sort of windmill the arms down. Plant that right hand. And then let's open up to the left. Good. Exhale, hand comes down. Inhale, come back to high plank. Top of a push-up. Exhale, press into down dog or flow it out. Good, just take a couple of deep breaths here in your down dog, thinking about those shoulders, externally rotating the shoulders. Good. So let's go ahead and take our right hand planted into the mat. And take your left hand and we're going to take it to the right calf or the ankle and just start to look underneath that right arm. And breathe. And then come back. Especially if you start to slip. And then let's do the opposite side, planting through the left hand. Look underneath. And release it out. Come back down onto the knees. Take a few more cat-cows if you need them. Take a child's pose if you need that. Good. So we're going to start to work on puppy dog just a little bit again. And we're going to use the blocks this time. Or if you don't have blocks at home, that's totally fine. You can use a pillow, anything that just gives you a little bit of height. So you can take a pillow like this into your hands this way, that's fine, or a big book, anything like that. If you've got a gigantic dictionary or an encyclopedia or something like that, you can use just whatever you have at your disposal. So what we're going to do is try to keep the hips stacked right on top of the knees, and then we're just going to extend the hands onto whatever you're using here and allow the chest to melt down. So this gives us a little bit more space to work with. A little bit more time to melt into what it is that we're doing here. Allowing the chest to draw down towards the mat. Breathe. I like this too because you can kind of sway back and forth. Just sort of feel the shoulders release a little bit more. Good. Now if you're ready, you can release the blocks, get them out of the way, move them to the side or just wherever they can go, and then see if you can find that puppy dog one more time and just notice how much further maybe you come down than the first one. Good, so release out of that, and then let's go ahead and come on to our belly. We're gonna come into clock pose here. I'm gonna move over to the side just a little bit so you can see. I'm gonna start with my left arm just because that's what you can see at this moment. So feel free to start with any arm that you want, but I'm going to teach it from the left arm first. It doesn't really matter which side that you do first. So we're going to extend the left arm out. Take the left cheek to the mat. And you want to try to keep your arm here at 3 o'clock. Body. Roll over onto the side. You can roll over as far as feels good to you. If it's just your hips are stacked, that's fine. You can take your right hand to the hip. And then I'm going to progress this, but I want you to stay exactly where you feel the stretch, is where you find your edge. Don't go beyond that. Definitely no sharp pain again, like what we said before. And so from here, you can take the hand down to the mat. You can bend your knee and let that knee flare out, allowing gravity to pull you over just a little bit more. Continuing to draw the shoulder blades together, opening the heart up. Now you can take your foot down and just roll as far over as you want here. You can also take a bind with a hand, so that kind of looks like this. And if you want to stretch your quad just a little bit in this position, you can do that. Just go ahead and take your right foot into your right hand. Maybe set it down onto the mat. And let that be part of your practice today if you want. All right, so we're going to roll out of this and we're going to do something a little bit different, but we're going to stay on the same side. So roll back onto the belly. Now you're going to take your arm out, so your elbow is in the same line as your shoulder, and then your wrist is going to be in the same line as your elbow. So you're making a cactus arm. Now we're going to really stretch the inside of those biceps that we don't really stretch much at all. And this one you may not be able to come over very far. I can't come over very far in it because I'm pretty tight right here. So don't be afraid if you don't come over very far. So we're going to do the same thing just with a cactus arm. And then just making sure your breath stays smooth and steady. Whew. All right, let's come out of that. Let's move on to the other side, okay? If that felt really good to you and you can hold that for longer, then that's great. I'm not very good at that one, but that means I need to work on it more, right? So we're gonna extend the right arm out to the side, right cheek comes down, and then we're just gonna roll over, just keeping the head relaxed, taking the left hand to the left hip. Maybe you just stack the hips on top of one another here. And then of course you can take any of those variations that we talked about. You can bend the knee, allow the knee to flare out, just letting gravity move you closer to on your back, maybe. You can take the arm bind, interlacing the fingers behind your back, just trying to keep the head and the neck soft. A lot of people like to use some type of cushion or pillow or blanket underneath their head here, and that's fine as well. And then of course, if you want to take the foot and get a little quad stretch in here, you can do that as well. Good, then let's go ahead and come back to center. Nice job. And then we're gonna do that the biceps. So just come back onto the chest. Take your arm out, perpendicular to the body, bend the elbow 90 degrees, and then we're just gonna roll over that. And again, you don't have to be able to go very far in this one. It's almost kind of a very weird, strange stretch, but it feels so good after you do it. Nice, go ahead and move out of that whenever you need to. You can always press pause on this recording, which is nice if you want to stay in a position a little bit longer. All right, so just using that strength that we all have, this fierce warrior strength that we have, we're going to take our hands down right about, I would say, the bra strap line. If you're a lady, and if you're a guy, you know where that is too, right? Come on, let's be honest. So the elbows are right over the wrists. You're going to tuck the toes under, soften through the neck, pull the belly and squeeze the glutes. Now, you guys are so strong, just remember that we're going to lift right up into high plank. So press all the way up, high plank. Good. Exhale to down dog. Notice the difference between this down dog and the first one that you did, especially in your shoulders. You obviously haven't stretched the legs very much, so you may not feel so much difference in your legs, but again, the focus here is the shoulders. All right, come down onto the knees. Now, if you have a towel or you have a strap, this might be a really great place for that. Actually, so you go ahead and take a moment to find that if you need to. I'm going to turn to face you. We're going to do one stretch before we do the bind. So we're going to go ahead and lift the right arm up, bend the elbow, bring it behind the head, and then take your left hand, place it on the elbow, and then just stretch here. So keep that engagement in your core and try to open the heart up a little bit more towards the ceiling if you can. So we're not trying to pull on the head here. We're really just trying to activate and we'll really stretch through the tricep muscles. Good, let's release out of that. All right, so go ahead and roll the shoulders a couple of times, maybe up, down, and away, and then maybe the opposite, so go up towards the ears and forward if you need to. Good, let's do that on the other side. Lift the left arm up, bend the elbow, and then take your right hand, place it on the elbow. Just give it a little bit of tension there as you stretch through those tricep muscles. And breathe. Keep breathing. Maybe smile a little bit. Nice. Release when you need to. Go ahead and roll the shoulders out just a little bit. Up, down, and away, and then the opposite way. Fabulous. All right, I'm going to turn to the side and show you this one. So we're just going to add on a little bit. So if this doesn't work for you, then don't do it. Just repeat what we just did. If you have a strap or a towel, this is the time you might want to use it because we're gonna bind our hands behind our backs. So this one's a very hard one for me, sometimes too, just because I have sort of T-Rex arms. So don't feel bad about having to use a strap or a towel or anything like that you have. All right, so I'm gonna turn to the side just so you can see a little bit more. I'm gonna lift the right arm up, place it behind the head, and then the left hand is gonna come behind, and I wanna try to grab just a little bit of a hold onto my fingertips here, Now, as I am here, I really want the chest to open up. I want to pull the belly in, engaged, protecting the low spine. And then maybe find a little bit of a chest opener here and breathe. Breathe nice and deep. Great job. So we're going to release out of that side. Nice. Shake the arms out, whatever you need. And then we're going to lift the opposite arm up. So the left arm reaches up and behind the head. Right hand, comes behind your back. And then try to find those fingertips, or find the strap, or find the towel. Again, engage the belly. Open the heart up. Look up towards, just maybe up towards the ceiling slightly. Someone decided to mow the lawn as I'm recording. That's okay. Good. Now go ahead and release out of that. Roll the shoulders. Again, make big, big circles here as you do. Go ahead, maybe roll the neck out just a little bit. Nice job. All right, so we're just going to come back up into our downward facing dog for just one more sort of quick little shoulder opener. We've done it a little bit before. We've done it a little bit earlier in our practice, but we're just going to do it again. So come back to down dog. Now on our inhale, we're going to look forward, step floater, jump to the top of the mat, come into that halfway lift. Exhale, fold it down. Now bring the big toes together, the heels just a tiny bit apart. Sit your butt down. Lift up for chair pose and feel the weightlessness of the shoulders as you lift those arms up. Now, if your arms are or your shoulders are still tight here, you can always bring the arms here or into prayer. That's absolutely fine. Good. Now we're going to inhale, press through the feet, raise all the way up, turn the thumbs in, the pinkies out, squeeze the glutes in the belly, cactus the arms, heart opener, back bend here. So we're finding spinal extension if you watched my back yoga for the back video. Now you can stay here or you can lift the arms, taking a little bit more of a back bend. Good. Now let's inhale into neutral spine. Bring the hands to the heart center. Sit right back down into chair. Pose. Take the hands behind the back. Keep the knees bent here. Now this is a great place again to take your strap or a towel. If you can't interlace the fingers behind the back, you want to draw the shoulder blades together and the knuckles down towards the tailbone. Take a deep breath in, and then on your exhale, you're going to fold forward. Take the torso onto the thighs, reach those arms up and over. Relax the head and the neck down. Maybe you straighten the legs, maybe you don't. It's up to you. Good. Drop the hands down. Go ahead and bend the knees, come down onto your seat. Finding our Shavasana, just go ahead and lay down onto the back. Draw the knees into the chest. Rock from side to side. If you'd like to, you can take a twist here. If you want to find an inversion in your practice, you can do that as well. But today's focus is obviously the upper body and the shoulders. So I'm not going to teach through that. So feel free to pause the video if you need to take whatever you need. So but we're going to go ahead and come into Shavasana. So when you're ready, you're going to take the right foot to the right corner of the mat, left foot to the left corner of the mat. Tuck the shoulder blades under the back, just letting them find sort of a neutral position. The palms are faced up towards the ceiling. Soften the eyes, soften your jaw, and just breathe, letting anything that you're holding on to, any tension, Any worry, any stress, just let it go. Think of your mat as like a sponge. It's a sponge to just kind of hold all the junk. And so as you let the mat sort of take all of that stuff, remember that you don't have to take it back on. Like you don't have to place it back onto your body or into your mind. You can just leave it on the mat. That's one reason I always clean my mat after every practice. It's like a washing away of all that stuff. Maybe you quiet the mind, or maybe you take a little bit of time right here to find connection with God, with your Creator, and you just breathe. So go ahead and begin to deepen your inhales and your exhales. Wiggle your fingers, maybe wiggle your toes, gently awakening the body a little bit, allowing peace, however, to just come into your heart, into the center of who you are, into your being, just holding on to that. And no matter what happens throughout your day or your week, just not letting go of that peacefulness that you have deep within you. Maybe you take a full body stretch, just reaching the arms up overhead, extending the feet, taking some deeper inhales and exhales. Maybe if you want, you can roll onto your side for a few moments. And then of course we'll all meet in a comfortable seated position, facing one another. I just want to take a moment and to say thank you so much for your continued support of the Wellness Collective here. I really appreciate each and every one of you so much. To the highest in me sees and honors the highest in you. Namaste.